Hi everybody, welcome back. I want to talk about the 10 biggest branding mistakes that companies make. In my business, I see companies and brands make the same mistakes over and over, the same oversights, things that are absolutely avoidable if they just pay attention. So here are the 10 biggest branding mistakes. Number one, not knowing or even in some cases having a brand strategy. So many companies, you'd be amazed, even the large ones, haven't done brand strategy, even the most basic brand strategy. Things like a brand positioning, where you codify clearly what it is you're offering, where you're offering it, how you're offering it, who you're offering it to, why you're different, and why you're better. You have to codify these things as a strategic underpinning to your business. It doesn't have to be complex, it just has to be clear. Mistake number two is not knowing who your competition is intimately. So many companies have not done their due diligence in understanding the competitive landscape in the category of business that they're in, who the competition is, how they're communicating, what are their products and services, what is the price point they're offering those products and services at. You have to really understand who your competition is so you can be competitive. So I encourage companies to do an audit of 4 or 5 of their key competitors on all of the aspects of their brand strategy. The third biggest mistake is copying your competition. Now, you may know who your competition is, and you may be actually going to market exactly like they are. I did a Brand Muse interview with a guy named David Breyer, who has an agency called DVD International. David recently wrote a book called Brand Intervention, which I highly recommend. David says one of the most important things and one of the most overlooked things in branding is differentiation. You really have to understand your competition and make sure that you're going to market in a different and better way than they are. Number 4 is not investing money in branding. Essentially, cheaping out. When it comes to branding, you really get what you pay for. Yes, you can buy a logo on 99 Designs or Fiverr, and you may get a pretty logo, but when it comes down to it, it's not a strategic design. It's not a design, and it's not branding that's closely aligned strategically with your brand strategy, and that is incredibly important. You can find experienced designers who will help you align your design and your branding and your visual identity with the strategy of your business. You have to understand that design is not a cost, it's an investment. Number 5 is closely related to number 4, and that is thinking that a logo is enough. You'd be surprised how many companies think that their logo is their brand. When it comes down to it, there are a much larger portfolio of brand design elements that you need to successfully go to market. I've done a video on this called the 9 brand design elements that you absolutely need, so you should definitely check that out if your company is going to market and thinking that a logo is all you need. Number 6 is a huge mistake, and that is trying to be everywhere. With the huge proliferation of platforms that you can market on these days, it's very tempting for brands to want to be everywhere and to want to do everything for everybody. But what that does is that they end up showing up inefficiently, badly, infrequently on too many platforms. It's so much better to choose 1 or 2 or 3 platforms that you're going to show up on consistently and build a target audience there and really service that audience and engage with them authentically than it is to try to be everywhere. Number 7 is another big one, and that's just talking about yourself. Potential customers and potential clients come to you with a problem that they have, that they need solved. You need to restate that problem to them and tell them that's how you're going to solve it. They don't want to hear all about you, all about your products and services. It's not about you. It's about them. The biggest mistake that people make and brands make is deciding what works for you is going to work for them. You have to think about the customer, what the customer likes, not necessarily what you like. And you have to solve the customer's problem and speak to them in their language. Number 8 is being fake. Face it, in today's marketplace, authenticity rules. And if you're telling fake stories and you're not being authentic and you're misrepresenting yourself, with the internet and the resources that people have, they're going to find out the truth in a hot second and you're going to hurt for it. So if you tell authentic stories and be very open and honest, your customers and your potential clients are going to trust you. And trust is what branding is about. Number 9 is another huge one, and that's being inconsistent. I talk about the importance of consistency in branding on my channel all the time. If your brand is showing up differently, visually, verbally, in different places in different ways, you are sacrificing brand recognition. And I also talk a lot about the 3 R's, which are recognizing, recalling, and revering. You want people to be able to easily recognize your brand by showing up in a consistent way and speaking in a consistent way. You want them to be able to recall your brand, so over time they'll develop an understanding and remember what your brand looks and sounds like, and then when they come across it, they'll be able to recall it. And then over time, that builds brand affinity, or starting to revere your brand for being authentic and true and valuable to them. And number 10 is marketing without a strategy. Number 10 relates really closely to number 1 about having a strategy. You have to make sure that your brand strategy drives your marketing efforts. You don't want to just try a bunch of things and see what sticks in terms of marketing. This goes for inbound marketing, outbound marketing. You have to develop a strategy, a marketing plan, and then work that plan. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video on the 10 biggest branding mistakes. And if you did, please hit subscribe below so you can see my videos when they come out, and hit that notifications button so you can get an email when I post something new. And from Verhaal Brand Design, my strategic branding and design agency, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. And if you need help with your brand strategy, your brand design, or your professional creative career, make sure to reach out to me at philipvandusen.com, and let's see what we can do to take your creative career or your business to the next level. And with that, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.